Princess Diana's tragic death in August 1997 was one of the most heartbreaking moments in modern royal history. At just 36 years old, Diana was taken in a sudden car crash in Paris, leaving the world in shock. Millions mourned her as the people's princess, but for her two young sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, the loss was deeply personal. William was only 15, and Harry just 12, when they were told the news while staying with the grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, at Balmoral Castle in Scotland. For them, Diana wasn't a global icon, she was simply Mum. Losing her at such a young age created wounds that would shape the rest of their lives. In the days that followed, grief was everywhere. Outside Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace, flowers, cards, and crowds grew in the thousands. People openly cried in the streets, showing their love for Diana. But inside the royal family, William and Harry were living through a private nightmare. Both boys were trying to process a loss that no child should endure. William, the older brother, felt he had to be strong, carrying the weight of expectation as the future king. Harry, younger and more vulnerable, struggled with anger, sadness, and a sense of confusion he would later describe as overwhelming. The hardest part was that the grief unfolded under the harsh glare of cameras. The public, though supportive, wanted to see them, wanted them to play a role in the national mourning. That led to the haunting moment when William and Harry walked behind their mother's coffin through the streets of London, with the eyes of the world upon them. Both princes have spoken in later years about how difficult that was. For them, it wasn't just a ceremonial duty, it was one of the most painful experiences of their childhood, one they will never forget. Amid this tragedy, Queen Elizabeth faced an impossible balancing act. As the grandmother, her instinct was to shield the boys, to keep them safe in the quiet of Balmoral, away from the cameras, away from the chaos. She wanted them to have space to grieve as children. But as queen, she had another duty, to lead a nation that was mourning loudly, publicly, and with raw emotion. Many people didn't understand why she stayed in Scotland with William and Harry instead of immediately returning to London. Some even accused her of being cold or unfeeling. But in truth, the Queen was placing family first. She knew that William and Harry's needs were more urgent than public appearances. Still, the pressure grew, and the criticism mounted. Eventually, she returned to London with the princes, and when she addressed the nation in a rare live broadcast, her words were filled with both dignity and emotion. She spoke not just as the Queen, but as a grandmother, calling Diana an exceptional and gifted human being who would never be forgotten. That moment helped calm the nation's grief and showed that behind her reserved exterior, Elizabeth felt the loss deeply. For William and Harry, this period shaped their relationship with both the grandmother and the monarchy itself. They saw the tension between duty and personal feeling, between the crown and the heart. Over the years, both princes have spoken openly about how their mother's death left lasting scars, influencing their views on mental health, the press, and the pressures of royal life. Harry, especially, has shared how his grief and unresolved emotions fueled his struggles later on, while William has tried to honor Diana's legacy through his work on charity and mental health initiatives. For Queen Elizabeth, this was one of the defining tests of her reign. She had to comfort her grieving grandsons while also holding together the respect and trust of her people. In the end, history remembers her choice to stay with the boys as an act of humanity, even if it was misunderstood at first. She proved that behind the crown was a grandmother who cared deeply, even if she didn't always show it in the ways the public expected. Diana's death, the emotions of her children, and the Queen's duty all collided in those unforgettable days. It was a moment that revealed the fragility of even the most powerful family, and it reminded the world that royalty, too, must face the deepest pains of life.